Hi, how you doing? What's going on? Have you survived lockdown? I have. Somehow, I just managed it, and I hope you have too. I don't know how to start this video off. Let's just get this rolling. Well, things are slowly turning back to normal, and with that, we're gonna have conventions coming back, which is really exciting. I'm very much looking forward to seeing everyone at conventions, just having any aspect of a social life. I'm very much looking forward to that. And one thing that I'm really keen on being part of again is judging cosplay competitions. They're always a very exciting part of the events. I love to see all the upcoming talent, and it often just gives me ideas on what the bloody hell I should be doing in my costumes. But the biggest question I get from people going into cosplay competitions is, what are the judges looking for? And well, this video right here, yeah, it's gonna tell you. It's gonna tell you. Well, I'm telling you, but yeah. This video is not scripted whatsoever, so I apologize in advance if it's not really professional or things are kind of all over the place, but that's my brain, so hi, welcome. I'm going to break this video down into like the different categories of cosplay competitions, and what we kind of look for when we're giving away the awards, and then I'll also give just some advice at the end of the video on what you can do to better your chances. I'm gonna get a little bit snarky and sassy in that part. I'm gonna be really honest. If you know me, that's just who I am. Don't take it too seriously, but if you do, I mean, whatever. Let's do it. So during cosplay competitions, there's usually different categories where you're given the opportunity to win different kinds of awards. Often they come down to best costume, best cosplay, judge's choice, or it's often called, the best newcomer award. Then there's also best group and best skit. Now, all of those have their own little rules and meanings. There could be some other awards out there for competitions, but I'm gonna stick with those since they're kind of the foundation ones. So I'm first going to start talking about the differences between best costume and best cosplay, because some people get really confused. They think that it's one and the same, but they're actually quite different. I'm going to break it down for you. So let's start off by breaking down the Best Costume Award. Now, I'm quite surprised how many times I gotta point this out, but guys, the costume has to be made by you. It has to be made by you entirely. Now, I don't expect you to make the wig, for goodness sake, or even the boots, but everything else, it's gotta be done by you, mate, okay? By you. The amount of times that we get cosplayers coming in where they've commissioned it and they think that that's enough to get them the award, no. It could win you best cosplay, which I'll get to in a second, but it won't get you best costume because we're judging your craftsmanship. We're looking for all the attention to detail. So if you've built armor, have you molded and casted it? Have you made it out of foam? And if you have, how clean are your seams? If you've sewn up bits and pieces of your costume, have you cleaned up the hems? Is there any loose threads anywhere? What details, like rhinestones and other embellishments, other print work that you've done, how is that going to make you stand out in comparison to everyone else? A lot of texture as well comes into play. There's got to be that right balance of textures, especially with fabrics. Some people think more. No, it's about finding the right balance. For us, it's about finding something organic. If we see something that, looks like it's been pulled out of the video game or out of the anime or whatever universe that it was created in, and it looks convincing in real life, then you got us. The costume has to also be functional. Now, if it's a big bulky costume and you've considered, the stilts, the puppeteer work, maybe some animatronics involved, then that puts you at a really big advantage. Other little things that judges look for when it comes to best costume is LED configuration, great wig styling, special effect makeup, or at least, you know, just some great highlight and contouring within your makeup. That really, really helps to sell your costume. So best costume covers all the craftsmanship and the technicalities of cosplay, but the best cosplay award, that covers the overall impact that your costume can make. Now, it doesn't have to be a made costume. You know, you could have bought this costume yourself. Now, of course, a made costume, something that made yourself, puts you at a greater advantage. However, if you compensate with fantastic acting skills, facial expressions, poses, just the great atmosphere of the character, if you can really bring that out on stage and sell it to the crowd, then that really gives you high chances to win. One of my best examples of this was when I was in Singapore, judging for GameStart Asia, and we gave the award for best cosplay to a Junkrat cosplayer. Now, this Junkrat, really, he just had some things kind of thrown together from his wardrobe and a couple of other, you know, just cardboard pieces and that. Very, very simple, right? But his face was literally elastic. Think Jim Carrey elastic. How he could express himself, how he practiced for months and months to get the mentality of Junkrat, and he pulled that off on stage so well that it blew us away. Kaboom! It blew us away. Now, I think sometimes it can be a little bit controversial. Some people think that people who haven't made their costumes don't deserve that award, but really, cosplay isn't just about making a costume. It's not just about that. There is a lot more that can be involved within the process, and that's why people who haven't made their costumes do have a chance to win best cosplay. Usually for newcomers or usually younger kids on stage who are, you know, quite nervous, but they've also, you know, they've done such a great effort in putting their costume together, we will often give them the judge's choice or the best newcomer award to hopefully inspire them to, you know, keep their passion going with cosplay, to push themselves further. Again, if they make their costume for this, even better, but they don't necessarily have to. Again, it's that thought process that goes into creating the character one way or another, you know, that gives you some chances of winning. Okay, now let's talk about best group and best skit. Again, sometimes these can be meshed in together, but really they should be divided. Best group, it often covers, well, obviously a group, but the costumes really, they have to be made. They have to be made individually by every single person within the group. It's usually looked down on if one person within the group does the absolute majority of the craftsmanship of the costumes, because to us, you know, it shows there's no proper delegation. You know, it's really all just been thrown on one person, and it doesn't show off everyone's potential within the group. You know, you don't have to be on the same level, you know, craft-wise, as long as you've put that effort in order to create something cohesive with one another, then you're an absolute contender for that award. Now, best skit obviously covers the best skit. This could be a dance, this could be parody, stand-up comedy, etc. Pretty much whatever you would like to do, then that puts you on the contendership. Now, judges are very strict when it comes to judging skits. We're always paying attention to time limitations, we're paying attention to beats, skips, attention to the audio, the composition, and really how much confidence the individual has on stage to perform their skit. If you are doing something with dance or, you know, just quite out there physicality, you really need to practice. You need to know the actual stage that you're going to be performing on, dimensions wise, and practice your back off within those set limitations. We've had quite a few times where people don't do that, and people have fallen off stage, and it's not good. So practice a lot. Okay? Please. Okay, so we've essentially covered all the categories. Now I'm going to go through, just some tips, some advice, some really just facts on what judges are looking for when it comes to picking winners. Now, these aren't really in any specific order. These kind of cover all of these awards. First, and really, I'd say it's one of the most important ones, do not lie to the judge on, making a costume when you didn't. We know, we can tell. There's a reason that when we come around and inspect your costumes and ask your thought process, your breakdown on how you made the costume, like we can tell right away on just your mannerisms, your physicality, the way you answer those questions. We can tell if you made this or not. You'd be surprised how many people lie to us about it. And look, most often than not, doing something like that, it instantly gets you scratched off the list right away. Like, we don't look down on a costume that's bought or was commissioned. We don't. Like, will it rule you out from winning a Best Costume Award? Yes, because you didn't craft that costume. However, you still have an opportunity to win one of the other awards, like Best Cosplay or Judge's Choice, or if you're doing a skit, then that. So don't lie to us. Like, be real with us, okay? Please. Always do practice runs in your costume before the convention. Like, I'm even talking days in advance, you should be doing practice runs, especially if your costume is big and bulky, if you've got like a ball gown, for example, or you're in stilts, or you're using other larger props on stage. Please do practice runs. And if you need assistance to get on stage, or if you can't get on stage and you need assistance to get around so you can still show off your costume to the audience, please tell people as soon as possible, because this helps with keeping timing, and then it also just makes sure that there's no hazards for anyone to trip over. Make sure that you practice at least 2 or 3 poses before you get on stage. I like to practice my poses like weeks in advance, so that if someone comes around with a camera and they ask for a photo, like bam, I'm ready to go, right? So many people, they get up on stage and then they're just hunched over, they've got their arms behind their back and they're doing the cute little smile. And look, yes, while that's cute, like, we want you guys to show off your costumes. We want you guys to have fun up there, right? So get up and really be dramatic with your poses, right? Like, it's going to be great for you in the long run. It's going to help you get more confident, and the photos that turn out from that are so much better as well. Now, when you're entering a cosplay competition, bigger doesn't necessarily mean better. Like, if you're going to make a big costume, that's completely fine, but make sure that you're paying attention to all the finer details, because they're going to be in the judge's face a hell of a lot more than a simpler costume. So yes, like, you can make it big, but if it's really plain or the paint job is not the best, then yeah, it's not going to give you a chance to win awards. Before you jump on stage, have a mirror on hand just to make sure that you can check if your wig is nice and clean, if your makeup needs touch up at all, if there is part of your costume that quickly needs adjusting before you get up there or before the judges see you behind stage. Always have a mirror on hand so you can check those things out. Everyone is getting into foam armor, so if you are going to make armor pieces or prop pieces, anything else out of foam, make sure you stand out. Make sure that your work is ridiculously clean. And I always try to give this advice to foam makers. If you know how to airbrush, or you can get access to practice airbrushing, that really, really sells the quality of your armor. So, or just look at everyone else and just think, how can I step this up? If your costume breaks on stage, that doesn't mean that you're completely kicked out of winning an award. Definitely not. If something does break, just leave it there, or try just to stand in front of it and still work with what you have and pose. Because look, things happen. It happens to all of us where things just fall apart because they feel like it. That's just life sometimes. you know? So don't fret too much, okay? Don't get upset, don't curse, don't do anything like that. Just make do, okay? Just stay up there, have some fun, chill. I say this to the guys specifically, okay? If you are wearing a Zentai suit, like those, you know, tight lycra bodysuits, think like Spider-Man or like the Attack on Titan, the Colossal Titan thing, the muscle suit, please wear a ballet belt, all right? Go on the Google, get a ballet belt. You will thank me later, okay? I'm doing it for you, okay? Skits that go overtime are immediately crossed off the list from any kind of awards. There's no ifs, there's no exceptions. We're not gonna tolerate it, okay? There is a reason why those times are allocated to you for those competitions. If I've got to lay them out, you know, the cosplay competition only has X amount of time, right? And we want to give every single attendee within the competition enough time on stage, you know, to be able to have a quick interview with the host, to get up, do a couple of poses, and then whatever skits are going to be running, they're going to be run on time, you know, so that if there's anything else happening on the stage afterwards, we're not going to be pushing them back for their time, okay? It's really selfish. Guys, just don't do it. If you want to do it, like, I mean, whatever, right? But you're not going to win an award, so tough luck. Like, speaking of skits, I'm gonna cover this part again. Please practice your skits. Make sure that you know your stage size and the limitations of that stage. Most often than not, the stages that are out there, you know, they're all the same. They're all the built stages, right? And some of them do have some frames. Please make sure that you are practicing within that kind of size area. So you know exactly where you need to step, where you need to go, so you're not falling off stage or hitting any rails. And I'm gonna say it right now, do not put any kind of stunts within your skits. I'm talking backflips, cartwheels, and, you know, all the gymnastic stuff, throwing around swords and jumping up in the air and stuff. Don't do that at all. Like, the amount of times where I see someone jumping up or backflipping on stage and then they hit the ground and you just hear the bang, the ricochet of the stage. It's nightmare fuel. It really, really is. Those stages for cosplay competitions are never built for those kinds of stunts. Okay? Don't do it. You will get immediately disqualified from your competitions. Like, I think pretty much every single competition that you went to out there is going to state in the terms and conditions, don't do any stunts, don't do anything ridiculous. And like, still, even with that, we still get people trying to do those kinds of things on stage, and it's dangerous. I've seen other times where people are jumping around and flailing their props where they've almost hit the handlers on the sides. It's incredibly dangerous. It's selfish. If you want to do that kind of thing in your own time, if you want to do it outside where you've got some space and that's on you, fine. Okay? But don't ever do it. You are not impressing the judges. You're immediately getting disqualified. That's what's happening. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble with this part, but whatever. Like, I'll preface it, okay, by saying this about Joker cosplayers. Look, 95% of you Joker cosplayers are completely fine. I've got nothing against you. You're fantastic, right? Right. You should know who I'm talking about, right? It's the specific Joker cosplayers who get up on stage. They haven't been allocated any time for a skit because they don't select that, but they think that they can take the host's mic and, you know, walk around in front of the stage and start doing the Joker laugh and just like staring at people awkwardly on stage. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's cringe and it's rude. It is rude to the host. That's kind of what pisses off judges the most. And look, just in general, anyone who disrespects the host in any way, you're not doing yourself any favors with the judges, okay? Because look, in the end, cosplay is it's a sportsmanship kind of competition, okay? But anyway, back to those jokers. Stop doing it. Stop it. If you want to do a skit, mark yourself off that you want to do a skit. And then actually plan a skit, you know, with some audio or, you know, like gags and stuff like that. Don't just laugh. I'm an asshole. Now, I think it's the most important thing that I'll cover is, look, you need to be a good sport with cosplay competitions. You know, look, even in WCS, the major competitions, you know, like, yes, it's okay to have some healthy competition. You know, look at people and go, oh, I feel like I did that a little bit better. My technique was cleaner. I feel like I've done the proportions better. Like, that's okay. Like, that kind of constructive critique is fine. I'm very much against the, you know, the ego trips, the bullying and the harassment that can quite often happen behind stage, quite often actually. That won't help you win awards either. Like, yes, you know, if you have a fantastic costume and it stands out above all others where, you know, yes, you may win an award, but, you know, in terms of reputation, you ain't winning awards anywhere with the judges. And that kind of stuff lingers on through different competitions and different judges. Okay? This is meant to be a very inclusive community. And yes, again, cosplay competitions are competitions, but this isn't freaking MasterChef or anything like that, okay? This is just something that's happening in our backyards. We're having a little bit of fun, and we're rewarding people who've just gone a little bit of the extra mile, okay? So be respectful, okay? No mocking other people if you feel like their costume isn't as good as yours, or if you feel like they aren't as pretty as you, or, oh, they're a certain size, they shouldn't be wearing that kind of costume. Oh, they're too old for that. Oh, they're too young for that. No. Look, if we feel a costume is very inappropriate, then we're not going to allow that on stage. You know, like, thank goodness, most times the MCs or the handlers within the convention, they'll pick up those things where us judges don't even see them. But sometimes it happens where we've got to make the call that something is inappropriate. I could make a list, but I'm not going to. You just know. If you know, if it's going to offend someone, then we're not allowing that on stage, essentially. Okay? But really, just be a good sport, all right? Just be good. On top of that as well, look, talent has grown exponentially within this scene. Like, it's actually making us judges look at it and go, like, why are they there? Like, they should be in our spot. I'm serious. The amount of talent that's out there within the cosplay scene is beautiful. It is wonderful. It's making our job as judges even tougher to pick winners. That's why it comes down to those minor crisp details or those extra little features in your costume that really make you stand out, right? So it's tough picking a winner. So if you lose, take it, you know, take it honorably. Okay? If you want to approach us after the competition and go, hey, look, thanks for judging us. It's a shame I didn't win. Could you please give me some advice on where, you know, I could improve for next time? Right? We're happy to give you some constructive critique. Okay? But Dan's mums, Karens, you bitter, sore little turds, right? Who want to win and they don't, so they literally chuck hissy fits and break their props on stage, scream, cry, come to us afterwards, you know, whether in person or messaging us, calling us horrible people. Chill. That kind of behavior can get you barred from some events, depending on what you've done and where you're at, okay? So it's not personal whatsoever. All right, so just be a good sport. Just be a good sport, okay? Okay, I think I've covered most of the things. Look, there's definitely a few things that I might have missed. So if you feel like I've missed something, then you can write it down in the comments below, and I'd be very happy to comment on it as well. If you have any questions as well, please write down in the comments. I'll be happy to respond, and yeah, help you out in hopefully entering competitions now that things are starting to get back to normal. I'm so excited. My first convention back is going to be Oz Comic Con in Sydney, just in a few weeks' time. So if you are there, I will see you there. But if not, guys, I really thank you for checking out this video. Let me know if you want me to do other topics about cosplay in specific order, or else I'm just gonna do things at random, which, yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go have some dinner because my blood sugar is really low. It hasn't helped me at all, with having no script whatsoever for this video, but I hope it's educational in some way. Okay? I'll see you next time, guys, okay? Bye.